Hello and welcome to the Knit Girls. This is episode 482. I'm Laura, known as Lola, also known as. I skipped a word.
I was like, we've done this almost 500 times. Let's not get crazy now.
I mean, it's too late.
Yeah. I'm Leslie, also known as You Won't Call Me Les. Today is Saturday, the 25th of April, 2020. Laura and I are still virtual recording.
We're
Um,
social distancing you.
we are. We did a drop off earlier this week where I dropped something off for Laura for the fail along and picked up some stuff she had for me.
The sock
But
tubes.
yeah, and I petted Pearl, but that was it.
I stayed like 20 feet away.
But
And then I
yeah.
wouldn't pet Pearl for like a couple hours after
Because I
work.
come in contact with so many
I
people.
know, I do too. I actually left the house for the first time in 2 weeks yesterday.
Yeah, to get your groceries, right?
Yeah, so I did a Kroger pickup. So they put them in the trunk of my car and I drove off after giving them a nice tip. So,
Yeah.
you know.
Um, I have to put this down. I keep getting my nails. I have like a tiny little
Ooh.
burr on my nail that's catching this chainette yarn.
Do
Um,
you want to go first or do you want me to go first, friend?
why don't you? Because I'm in the middle of a row and it's hard to show this.
Okay. So I just completed a round. I am knitting on my Little Boxy by Hohi Locatelli out of Another Crafty Girl in the Ponky Borealis colorway. And I've made some progress. It's around 2 inches now.
Yeah, you
I
had
need,
just passed on last time.
yeah, I had just cast on a knit half a row, maybe a full row of the ribbing. So I've switched from the 2.5 needles up to fours. And it's pretty. I like the yarn a lot. So it's a nice, bright, cheerful, springish color. I'm very in a pink mood right now. So it's working really well and it's pooling in a really nice way. Like it's not pooling where it's ugly. It's just kind of doing like that flashing thing.
Yeah, where it like chases itself around the.
Yeah. So I like that quite a bit. So that is the first thing on my needles, and that's probably maybe has gotten the most work this week. There's not been a ton of knitting. I've kind of been flitting around and playing lots of Animal Crossing.
Yeah, that's
Um,
where the fair share of my free time has gone this week too, is Animal Crossing.
and so on my sock tube socks, which are mustache yarn, in the Everything is Awesome colorway. This was the first one, so this one still needs the ribbing, but it's been ripped back. I put a little marker in where I needed to rip to. So it's ripped back. I just have to put it on the needles and start the ribbing, and I am ready to I finished the ribbing on the second one. That was on the needles last time. I think I was only a couple rows in. And then I just finished the heel. It just needs to be Kitchenered. This is what I did in Zoom meetings this week. And then I need to get some yarn to the right point to join it because this tube was not as long as the other tube. Well, it was
Oh,
actually longer, but they weren't matchy, like they
yeah.
weren't matching. So I'm gonna make the match. So I need to get a repeat to the red, which goes into the yellow, and then and everything for some reason I rip back to the yellow. Like everything's on that light yellow, so I need to get to red. And then I'll knit the toe for this. So I just really have the Kitchener of the heel, the ribbing on this one, and the toe on this one, and then these will be done. So I'm thinking I'll get those done. I have 5 hours of Zoom meetings this week. So I think those will get done this week, hopefully. Um, yeah, and my APs are really kind and allow me to knit during my Zoom meetings, so it works out
I mean,
well. Like
I am the
LCs.
same way. Like I'm less likely to goof off on my phone or browse the internet if I've got knitting in my hands.
Yeah.
So I pay more attention that way.
And I haven't touched the Ursa Minor yet. Um, it's still in the I need to work on it stage. So that is over there someplace. I have a ton of knitting needles that I need to put away this week. So that's going to be one of the tasks for this week. So just those two things on the needles that I can show. I have a secret test knit I'm working on too. What have you been working on?
Not a lot, I'll be honest with you. So sorry, I started this row and now I need to back out this first stitch. There we go. So I finished the back on Nuala, which is a summer dolman tee.
Yeah,
I think it's knit in linen in the pattern, but I'm knitting it in cotton. Um,
a cotton
it's
like tube construction, right?
yeah, it's a chainette construction. It's Barocco, no, Taki Malibu, which I got from Webb's, and it comes in the little balls already.
Mm-hmm.
So I finished. This is the back, and then I picked up along. It's got these lace panels that you knit that start sort of at the elbow and go up to the shoulder, and then you pick
Okay.
up on either side. So I picked up along the back and knit the back down, and then I put the back stitches on a holder, just like a spare cable needle
Yeah.
or spare cable, because these are interchangeables. And I'm knitting the front now. I haven't got a ton of that done because at the front, after you pick up along the edge of the lace, you do short rows starting like just where on either side of the neck, and then every four stitches
So
on either side. So it's a ton of short rows.
yeah.
So I just finally finished the short rows, and so now I've got
I think you've made really good progress on that actually.
um, like 3 more inches, and then I join it under the arms, and then you come back later and Kitchener down the length of the arm to join the very underside. But at that point, I join it under the arms, and then it's a knit around and around.
Yeah.
So that I'm knitting on the Knit Picks. I forget what they're called.
Are those
Or
nitpicks or
Knitter's
Jimmy
Pride.
Beans?
Uh, no, these are those new ones we just ordered from Knit Picks. The ones that they just came out with. They look a lot like the
Oh,
Smart Sticks, but they're
yeah,
called
that's
something
what I thought
else,
they were.
like Options or something maybe. I can't
Okay.
remember what they're called. Um, so that's the garment I've been knitting on. So the things that I have sort of in progress are, so Laura cranked a bunch of sock tubes for me,
I did.
which is awesome because I was able to get a little bit of progress done this week. So
We
when,
cranked six, I think, for you. Was it six total?
or maybe seven. Yeah, it was at
I
least
think it was
six.
seven. Yeah.
Um, so when you crank a sock tube, you can do a heel if you are willing to deal with the fiddliness of heel forks and doing back and forth. It's I haven't done it in a while, and the only machine I've ever done it on was a very old one, a Laguerre. Was it Laguerre?
Yeah, I think so.
Um, it didn't have an instruction manual. It didn't have any videos or anything. So I didn't have a lot of success with it. So I just prefer to get the tubes just cranked over and over and
Yeah.
over, straight in the tube. So this is the leftover of one pair, because I asked Laura to just crank them straight. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so rather than separating them or anything. So
I did
uh,
separate one of them, I think, because I kept messing up on it.
yeah, that mustache apple picking one. I haven't messed with
No,
that one.
that comes separate. There's another one
Oh,
that's separated
okay.
too.
All right. I haven't gotten to that one
There were multiple ones I messed up on.
yet.
Enjoy.
So when I get them, they come just cranked with this orange yarn. This is the waist yarn.
Yeah, we need to order another cone of waste yarn
Okay.
soon.
Um, and it can be any color. It's just this is not a color Laura and I use a lot, so it's a good.
You think that, but it seemed to be matchy matchy with a lot of our stuff lately.
So when you're cranking on the machine, you have the ability to do a hung hem, which is basically you take um, after you've cranked this, say 3 inches of it, you take this first bit and you pull the needle up and join them together, and it's like a folded over hem. Well, I do that after the
Mhm.
fact on these. Like I just fold it over and then tack it down.
Oh, look at you. Because
Um,
I was not going to do hung hems for
yeah,
Leslie.
and
That's
that's fine.
my
That's perfectly
one. I
fine.
just don't know how to do it, and I don't feel like learning, to be
You
honest.
you do have to be careful to make sure that you don't tack it down too tightly, but they're nice and stretchy. Um, and it's not as snug as like a ribbing, but I'm okay with that because mine are shorter anyway. I prefer my socks a little bit shorter than Laura likes hers. So on this pair, I've taken both of them and created hung. Well, I don't know what they're called. They're just folded hems, but they
Yeah,
mimic a hung hem. And this, I think, is Silver Linings Playbook.
it is by Desert Vista Dye
Yeah.
Works.
Um, so I think I might give these to Kobe. But I need to measure his foot because he wears a size 13. So these would be short ones. So I may have to pick something else for him. But we'll see.
I did
So
on yours 400 rounds is what I cranked most of them to.
yeah, and normally when I do my own, I think I did 150 or maybe 130, and that's not including like the toe, the heel, or the ribbing. So doing 200 was good because then I can take this and do a folded hem. Plus, I can pull back the toes and knit the toes.
Yeah, or if you're doing them for Kobe, you could just
Add like a
add.
contrast, yeah.
Yeah.
So on that same topic, my finished object this week is, well, one of them
Oh, look at
is
that.
hair. So this is query fiber in the nice shoelaces colorway. Uh, so on this one, I did the same thing. I created a folded hem, and then I pulled back the toe and, just did a regular wedge toe. The heel is a contrasting yarn. I don't remember what it is, but it seemed to fit pretty well with the
Yeah.
colors of the socks. So,
Are those
yeah,
for you?
these are for me. Yeah.
Yay.
So, again, this is query fiber in the nice shoelaces colorway, uh, which I
I
think is a
love that it takes you like 3 days to do that, and I've been working on these mustache
you
socks.
also do lives every friggin' day, and you do spinning too, which I haven't done in months. So you do your own stuff. And then the only other thing that I have to show, I've actually mended two pairs of socks, but
Yeah.
I left the other pair downstairs. This is my
Oh, look at that bright yellow
darning
darning
mushroom.
egg. Yeah.
So it is very difficult to lose.
I mean, that's good. Have the dogs tried to chew it yet, thinking it's
No,
theirs?
no. I keep seeing it out of the side, like out of the corner of my eye, being like, did somebody put an adult marital aid on the sofa? Like, what is this? Um, but so for this one, yeah, it was just the toe that was messed up. So I pulled back the toe down to where it was messed up and reknit it with the yarn that I used for the body. And this is Old Rusted Chair,
Yeah.
mm,
Lou.
Lauren, Lou,
Lou.
okay, Lou.
Rebel girl.
Yeah, it's a Planned Parenthood colorway called Rebel Girl. And the other I
She
mended.
just debuted the new one and it
Oh,
sold out within like 15 minutes, so I couldn't
oh,
get it. Yeah. I told her next month I would try again.
yeah. I mean, it's
I took
great
a
for her.
nap. It was very important.
Um,
Very important business.
what else? Do I have anything else? Um, no, I have another pair that I mended, but they're downstairs, so I'll show them next
You
week.
can show them next week.
All the sock tubes were cranked on the Erlbacher Gearhart Speedster sock machine. It's a red one. All right,
It is
that's
a
it
red
for me.
one. Oh, I thought you were getting them to leave for a second. I
Yeah,
was like,
it's all you now.
what is happening? I have a finished object as well. I just need to weave in the ends. Um, so that has not happened, but it will soon. These are the owls socks I knit Spin
Oh,
Farm. So
well,
there's the first one, and I can't find the matching blocker. It's somewhere. Oh, I think it's over there. So here's the second one. So there's two, and there was yarn left over, so I stuck that in your bag.
yes, I
So you
saw
would
that.
have
Thank
extra
you.
yarn too.
Thank you.
Because Leslie and I play that game. um, because we get the same base. So yeah, those are done. I wound the Tolkien colorway by her, and I put it in the needle in a bag in my backpack. I went to get groceries and I forgot my backpack, which had my wallet in it and everything
Backpack,
else I needed.
backpack.
But I remembered, like, once I got into the car, I was like, I feel like I'm missing something. So I went back in the house and got. That's how long I've been in my house. Leslie knows that I am super attached to my backpack,
Yeah.
and for me to leave it is very odd. Um, so yeah, those are done. These were for me. I just need to weave in the ends, and now it's like 80 degrees outside.
Mm.
So I haven't had a lot of motivation. I might actually work on that as you talk in a bit, because I found 5 darning needles that had fallen between my desk and the bookshelf. And I also found the yarn to mend my socks
Oh,
that
good.
had fallen down there. So look at me. Um, but
I'll be
that is
more
my,
impressed when you actually do it. But
I
yeah.
know, as should everyone else. So those are done. And then spinning. I did 2 lives this week on spinning specifically. One was a wheel review of 5 different wheels. That was on Monday. And then on Tuesday, I did an e-wheel review and Avita, who's super sweet. She's good friends with
Mm.
Aiden,
Mm.
and is an amazing spinner. She does a lot of Turk spindle spinning. She hopped on and showed everyone the starlings that she 3D printed and the new one by Daedalus as well.
Okay, yeah, the magpie, I think.
Yes. And then I had mine. So we got to see some different wheels as well. And Daedalus, oh, well, I'll talk about that in a bit. So when I was showing my Hansen, I have a woolly winder for my Hansen, which is a device that auto feeds the yarn on, so you don't have to switch it off and switch hooks or move hooks.
So it automatically fills it evenly.
Yep. And so I decided to start chain plying my self-striping yarn that I made out of a braid of merino firestar blend fiber. It's part of Elizabeth of Spotted Circus, her
Stained
stained
glass.
glass series.
Yeah.
And this one is, I think it is Neon Berries is the colorway. And I got 220 yards. It is a chain ply, so that equals a 3 ply. So it's about a worsted weight. And it should self-stripe, which I'm super excited about. So it has this bright neon blue, a bright neon pink, and a neon purple, and it should stripe between those three. And I gave it a wash today because you should always set your yarns, whether it's via wash or via steam. And yeah, I'm super stoked about it. So it might go on the needles pretty quickly. I think it'll be a good hat for sure.
What was the yardage again? I know you said it was a worsted.
220 yards.
Okay.
So yeah, that's where I'm getting the worsted aspect of it from,
Cool.
because you can kind of guesstimate based on yardage what the grist is.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I'm excited about that. And then I'm also still working on the Into the Worlds. I'm almost done with the second half of this. This is Sealy Court. It was their March club. Their April club just arrived, and it is so happy, but it's in package quarantine right now. And because I quarantine my packages. And this is the March club, and it's Rambouillet, and it's spinning super fine. I'm spinning it on my Ladybug, and I'm almost done. I spun on it during my live today, and I spun on it during a Zoom that I had with our friend Jessica and Lynn, um, which was funny because we were going through all the teachers that we had at Loopy U.
Oh, the
And like
spring
I was
fling.
trying to remember, but then I saved all my badges up there.
Oh.
So I could remember. See, that's
That's
when
right.
saving a badge really comes in handy.
I'm pretty sure I have all my SSK ones somewhere.
I have all my SSK ones up there too, which is crazy. I also have badges of events that I taught at. So like my Leading Men Fiber Arts, my Wisconsin, the Madison Knitted
Yeah.
is up there. Arkansas Fiber Arts Extravaganza.
Oh yeah, 100 years ago.
Yeah. So all that's up there. So I've been working on this, but the main thing that I've been working on today or this week, and it's still on the match list, is I really want to finish up the sweater spin that I started. So I
Mm,
started
yeah.
this back in November, and this was the first skein.
And you nearly killed yourself to get it done for a
Yeah,
deadline.
for an arbitrary deadline. And so this was 1,000 yards. And so out of 12 ounces of a 3-ply. So I'm almost done with the first 4 ounces of the second batch. And it's spinning really, really thin. It's like a sport weight, maybe more of a DK. Let me do the math on that. So it's 12 ounces. So what's 1,000 divided by 3? Yeah,
333.
333. So it is more like a sport weight. So yeah, um, that will become, I think, a portage. I need to look and see. I
I really
really,
want to do that after we saw Vicky's
not
at
Vicky, um,
Kelly's.
Kelly.
Yeah, we were with Vicky. Sorry.
Yep, at
Uh,
Dixon.
Was it no? Was it Dixon? It was Murfreesboro.
Oh,
I thought.
sorry, Fiber in the Borough. It's
Yeah.
the fall one.
Hmm.
So yeah, I cannot wait to get the second half of this done, and I can't wait to get the Sealy cord off the wheel because I really want to start Jillian's spin along that she's doing her sample along.
Hmm.
So lots of spinning to get done. I think during our live tomorrow, our Patreon event, I'm gonna get some spinning done for those 2 hours.
Cool.
I think that'll be fun. Spinning's like the only motivation I have right now.
Yeah, you got to embrace what motivates you right now.
I know. I did put on Psych earlier, and that kind of got me working on this a little bit.
It's like the TV show from.
Yeah, they're doing a new movie
Oh, okay.
coming out this summer, so I'm excited about that. I think that's all I had to talk about was spinning. Why don't you talk about what you're reading? Because I'm reading the same old, same old.
Oh, well, uh, I started the third book in that series that I forget what it was called. The one you recommended, where they're in New York City and it's werewolves and
The Shelley Lawrenson?
no, I forget what it was. Anyway, it was on last week's show notes. Um, I, I started the third one. Here, let me pull it up real quick. So it was
Werewolves in New York City.
All Souls Near and Nigh, The Soul Bound by
Oh,
Haley
the
Turner.
Haley Turner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I started the third one, but I needed a little bit of a break. So I had gotten a notification from Amazon that an author that I follow was releasing a new book. So I went and looked it up because the name didn't ring any bells. And this author, Tove Foss Ford, she's only got one series out. And the first book is called The Weaving Man, and the second one I forget what it's called, but it's a really good series. It's about it's sort of a fantasy. It's like there's a monarchy, and then there are these assassins. There's nothing supernatural that I can remember in it, but this assassin who's like 20, so he's been working for like 4 or 5 years, gets this a baby, a princess from the queen, and his job is to take care of her. And they send him
It's
to this
very Snow
isolated,
White.
yeah. So they send him to this isolated part of the country, and he like, grows up while being a surrogate father to this little girl, and it's a really interesting story. So I'm rereading the first and second one because the third one just came out. Um, and that's called The Weaving Man, again, by Tove Foss Ford. And I'm re listening to the Hidden Legacy series by Lorna Andrews.
Oh, that's a good one.
I actually listened to all three books in a week, like the main ones with Nevada Baylor.
Uh-huh.
There's a short one that's about the wedding, and there's a longer one that's Catalina and Alessandra.
Mm-hmm.
Um, So those I've downloaded, but I've listened to each of them once a long time ago. Well, when they came out, so
I like
last year
Nevada.
sometime.
I'm not as invested in Catalina, and the
Yeah,
next book's about Catalina as well, but we'll see.
yeah. I I'm the same way. Like it's hard when you're invested in a series and then the main character changes like several books in. I feel like it's not always a smooth thing. I'm very interested in them as characters, but not as like
You're not as
primary
emotionally
protagonists.
invested, yeah.
Yeah. But it's Alana Andrews, so I will, persevere and
It's
give
such
them
a
a chance.
struggle.
Yeah. So anyway,
Not at
so
all.
that's what I've been reading. I've been watching Veep on HBO this week.
Mhm. Hey, your Parks and Rec have a new episode coming out.
I know this coming week, I think.
It's
So
exciting.
I am excited about that. So what about you? What have you been watching or reading? And
I've been working on CEUs and work stuff and just
yeah,
trying to keep my head above water with that. So I finished one CEU on co-teaching, and I just have one, like, so I don't mind doing the online CEUs. It's not a big deal. But with this one, special education on its own has like a lot of acronyms and jargon. And so I was having to constantly like go back and make
yeah,
sure what I was doing, that I was using the right language
hmm
for what I was responding to. But then, and I don't mind answering like the teacher's questions or whatever, but then they do like respond to two other people using a question format, ask them a question to continue the discussion on. And I don't like that.
yeah.
Like, I just want to do my part and just move on. I don't want to have discussions with other people.
People are the worst.
Because it was, I'm not going to lie, like, because it was so jargon heavy,
Hmm
and it wasn't quite exactly what I was expecting going into it. I was expecting more teaching practices for effective co-teaching. This was more like why we should co-teach, like the research on co-teaching. Um, and reading other people's research is the worst sometimes. So it wasn't, I mean, I make it sound terrible. It was not terrible. And I learned some really, really good things. Um,
Sometimes
and
it's just
some,
about your expectations
yeah, and some
and them
different
like crashing into
stuff.
reality.
Yeah. So it wasn't terrible. It was a lot of videos that I was taking notes during, and they were going so fast that I was constantly having to stop and then go
Right.
back a couple minutes. And Um, nothing was really subtitled, which sometimes can be helpful for me if
Mhm.
I read it as I'm listening to it. Anyway, it was a struggle. So, but that first one is done. And now I really need to focus on unlocking English learners' potential because that is due May 5th. So that is in a very short time period,
Yeah.
like in 10 days. And it's supposedly only 10 hours, but I will tell you online CEUs take me like what is supposed to be 10 hours tends to take me 15 to 20.
Yeah.
And maybe I'm doing too much, maybe it's just me, but it could be how I learn, I don't know. But I'm excited to get these done
I
and
understand
get
that.
my license ready for renewal. Because this will put me at like 6.5 hours out of the 10 that, or 6.5 credits out of the 10 that I need. And I
Yeah.
still have several years
Yeah.
because we're in a 5 year cycle. So I'm good till 2022. But doing this on top of actually like more extracurriculars that I have going on is a little bit harder. And I'll probably continue doing CEUs over the summer as well, just so I can get this done and out of the way, and then I don't have to think about it again
Yeah.
and get my fees paid. That's also an important aspect of this. So, yeah. Anyway, I'm focusing on that and not fun reading, which is very sad,
It
but it
happens
is
though.
what it is.
Yeah.
And I've been watching We Are Here, which is the new HBO series that has drag queens in it, which is a little bit of a storytelling aspect. I don't want to say that it's like Queer Eye because it's really not. They're not going in and like changing these people's lives. Sometimes there's three main queens involved in it. Shangela, and then Bob and Eureka. And like so in the first one, it takes place in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, which is very close to where I went to school, college. So I'm very familiar with that area.
She's fine.
And oh, did Buffy come in?
Yeah,
Where's my buff?
she's exploring.
So in the first one, like Shangela's drag daughter, that they're making over these people and they do like a drag performance in the
Hmm.
town. So they're allowing towns that are very small to experience a drag performance that they might not have the ability or access to see, or you know, be open to in their
Right.
community. So Shangela's drag daughter has a very supportive family, and he is LGBTQIA plus. And then Bob's drag daughter is actually was my favorite, and he is straight, and he is African American, and he works for Gettysburg College, and he says at one point like, how can I expect other people to want to walk in my shoes as an African American man if I'm not willing to straight man if I'm not willing to walk in their shoes.
Yeah.
So he's doing that for that educational experience, and it gets really funny at times cuz Bob's like teaching him the jargon
Hmm.
that's used, like sickening,
Yeah.
eat the face and stuff like that in the drag community. And then the last one, Eureka's drag daughter, was really really hard for me to watch, and I'm not gonna share that on here, but it's an interesting show, and it's free. The first episode's free in the United States. It's on HBO's YouTube, so they're trying to hook people to draw them
Hmm.
in, but it was really really well done. So I watched that, and then I made Leslie record secret celebrity drag race. So if we ever get together, we can watch that together.
Yeah. It's
And we
being.
have
We've got like a month's worth of like. If we spent 3 hours a day watching TV, we've got like a month's worth of stuff to catch up on.
I know. So we have the drag race season that's going on right now. What's that, 12?
12.
We haven't seen it since we were with Amy.
Hmm.
So we have over a month of that. We haven't watched the new Heidi Klum
Yeah, the
gun
making the
series.
cut or whatever it
Yes,
is.
that was on our list. What else do we have?
Oh, the new Celebrity Drag Race.
Yeah.
Nailed it, except for the first two episodes,
Oh
which we
yeah.
watched as a group. Um, I feel like there was something else. Did we finish Project Runway? I
We
feel like there
finished
was.
Project Runway because the guy that we really liked
Oh,
won,
that's right.
and we
That's right.
cheered so loud
Yeah.
it upset Pearl.
Yeah. That's right.
A little bit of a spoiler on that. It's been over a month, so I think
Yeah.
we're good on that. We were gonna watch Next in Fashion, but you finished that without me, which is
Actually, I
fun.
didn't finish it. I got to the last episode and then decided I just didn't care, so I didn't
Oh,
finish it.
there you go. I did that with a book the other day. I got like 50 pages in. That's my
Hmm.
number that I kind of, and then I was like, you know what, I'm done.
Yeah.
Don't care. I'm over the enemy to friends
Yeah.
all trope. So I'm not in the mood right now. Oh, I have a question for the greater. So I was packing up yarn that we bought in Scotland. This is super crinkly. And I pull out these minis because I really want to make something out of these.
Oh, we got that from that little shop.
Yes.
Sealy McWheely.
Yes. And it's a Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy collection.
Hmm.
So like that one's Arthur, then Marvin,
I
then
think I got the
Trillian,
skein of the Marvin. I liked it.
Zapwoid, and Ford. Um, so I want to do these in maybe a shawl or a cowl or something like that because it is 400 it's 425 meters.
Total.
So total, but I could also combine it with like a black or a navy blue. I have solids in my stash that would work with it. So I want to know people's favorite like mini scheme patterns
Are
for
we
shawls
excluding
and
blankets
cowls.
and stuff, right?
Yeah, it's not enough for a blanket. I feel even if I held it doubled with something else,
Hmm.
it's 425 yards of
Okay.
fingering weight. I should say that. And it's a 75% merino, and then nylon is what it says, but it's got stellina. It's the stellina one.
Yeah.
It's also super crinkly because it's in biodegradable cellophane.
Yeah. So you want people to put their suggestions on the Ravelry
Yeah, on the Ravelry
thread?
board, on the thread,
Okay.
and then I'll make one because I think these minis are super cute, and I want a shawl of my time in Scotland. So yeah, I packed up all my I didn't purchase a ton in Scotland, but I packed up the like 10 skeins that I did purchase. That counts in the 10. And then I wound the opal that I got into a cake. It's right here so that I could put it on the sock machine for
Oh, I was
some
like,
little
why did
like,
you wind it into a? Okay, that makes
well,
sense.
I don't like the balls that they come in
Yeah.
general. Like I prefer a cake. Um so I wound it into a cake. But I also want to put it on the sock machine because that was the original intent for that.
Hmm.
I have a
Yeah, I've got a
couple.
couple of skeins that I got specifically to make some socks for one pair for me and one pair for Kobe that I need to put in the bucket of stuff to take to Laura's at some point.
I wish it was a real bucket.
Yeah.
Like you could just hang it on my doorknob. Be super cute.
Hi, Buck Buck. Come here.
My
Come here.
Buffy.
Oh,
Oh,
I'm sorry. Thank you. Are you scared of something?
I miss Buffy more than anyone else.
Mwah. Yeah, sweet girl. Okay, get down.
Pearl, we had a
It
storm
must
last
be like storming because
night.
she's shivering.
It was raining earlier. Pearl's knocked out. It was storming last night because I had to get up and because she was pawing at me because it
Yeah.
was storming. Yeah, we were supposed to get thunderstorms tonight. I'm using that as my excuse to never cut my lawn.
Yeah, I mean, it is too wet right now to cut it.
And there's a
So
pandemic.
there
So
is a pandemic. But you've been doing a lot of extra stuff in your time with your lives, and you've got a whole bunch scheduled, right?
so I do lives Monday, Tuesday. I can't do Wednesdays anymore because I have um work conflict, and Thursdays are kind of iffy. I have a work conflict, but unless my Zooms for work go over an hour, I should be able to make it. I've got one at a Zoom at 11 and then a Zoom at 1:30.
And
So
the
it's at
lives
11.
that we're talking about are on Instagram, and Laura on Instagram is, are you just Lala or are you Lala Knits? Lala Knits on
I can get
Instagram.
Lala. It was taken. And you
Okay.
do have to request to follow me. And so if you're private, I do ask that in your profile it says something somewhere about fiber art. So what I have coming up, this is the fourth or fifth week that I've been doing these lives, which is crazy.
Mm.
So Monday, we had a request to do toe up socks. So we're gonna start a toe up sock knit along with a free pattern. It's socks on a plane. So if you're interested in toe up socks, we're gonna start with Judy's Magic Cast On and how to do toes. So if you've never done that before, that will be fun. And then we'll just like every Monday for the next couple weeks, we're just gonna work on that. Which means I have to knit a pair of socks on a plane.
Not always a bad thing.
I know. It'll be good to give the pattern a refresh. I need to decide what yarn I'm gonna use. Because it's a pattern that I published back in like
Hmm.
2010.
I remember taking the
So
pictures for that pattern.
yes. So it's been a piece, and this will allow that pattern to have a little bit of a refresh, and I can redo some things on it that I've been meaning to do for a while, so it's good for me too. Tuesday, Jillian Marino is going to join me, and we're going to discuss her new sample along that she's doing. Probably that, plus some British mysteries, plus whatever else trouble we get into during that live. So that will be fun. And all of these are at 12, like noon Central Time. Wednesday, I have a work conflict, but that'll be fine. It's good to take a day off too Can't do them every day. And then Thursday, I have Datalist joining me. So we'll be talking about their e-wheels and how those came into fruition. Fridays are Amy Florence Day on the lives. So we just hang out for an hour and chit chat. I can't even remember what we talked about last week. Usually she shows her update that she's going to do. But it is a lot of us talking about random stuff.
I mean,
And then Saturdays, I was doing live. I can't really do lives with other people because internet on Saturdays is an issue. So the last couple Saturdays, it's just been kind of a basic Q&A.
mm-hmm.
But if there's something someone wants to see, we can totally do that. I've done sock machines before, but we can do that again, or the drum carter or whatever. We've done a bunch of different stuff, but I don't mind repeating myself because different people have different questions and different things come up, which is fun. The following week, Monday will be socks. Tuesday will be Vesper yarn. I'm pulling up my calendar just so Cinco de Mayo, Vesper Knitterly Things will be joining me. And we'll be going through my old Vesper stash,
Oh gosh.
which started in 2008.
So
And
how long did you allot for this? Because
she told me that she didn't believe I had as many skeins as I think I have, so we'll have to see.
she is going to be prepared to eat her words.
And then on the 7th, Sharon is
Oh,
going to join
yay!
for pottery. He's going to be in his studio, and so we're going to talk about the intersection that he has between pottery and crafting fiber art stuff. So that will be super fun. And all the lives save for 24 hours unless Instagram eats them. So usually you can find them and watch the replay. And I know sometimes the questions get very much out of order, so I try to read the questions as they come in so you can understand what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And then that Friday, Amy will be joining me again. She doesn't know that because we haven't discussed it, but I'm assuming that's happening. And then that's it. So I also wanted to put out there, part of the reason why I'm doing this is I'm like this week I had Jean from Two Guys on, and then Elizabeth from Spotted Circus joined me for a little bit, but then her internet got kind of sketchy. Who else did I have on? Amy Florence, of course. We did two wheel things, so Monday and Tuesday were wheels. Thursday was Two Guys, Friday was Amy, and then today was Spotted Circus for the little bit that she can join us. I like promoting or just having conversations with other crafters, other makers, because it allows you guys to see their products. We're all kind of in the same boat right now. But a lot of these indies have had multiple shows canceled. So it allows you to see their stuff in like a non-aggressive sales pitchy type thing.
Yeah.
Like one of my favorite things that happened this week is I was talking to Two Guys, Gene, about his fleeces. And he was like, let me show you my fleeces. He stores his fleeces in like a Mustang convertible that's not working. It is the most expensive fleece storage device I've ever seen in my life.
You're barking. You're fine.
So he's got a red like Mustang convertible that he stores fleeces in, and it is incredible. But I also got to talk to him about like he mills all his own yarns and what that process looks like. So I'm learning a lot from these people as well. Rock and String joined me a couple weeks ago and went through her whole like how she dyes self-striping, which was really, really interesting. But if you're an indie maker, and I would recommend you watch one of the lives so you kind of know what you're getting into because we are not professionals, yo. I am not a professional, and I'm doing this on my lunch break from work,
Yeah.
so it's fun. But it splits up my day nicely because I do like work in the morning, usually with kids and emails and stuff like that, Google Form stuff,
Yeah.
or helping teachers, and then I get this break, and then in the afternoon I'm doing a lot of like bookwork CE type stuff or PLC stuff or other things, still finding resources for teachers. But yeah, it's a nice division of my day, and I'm enjoying it immensely. And I think y'all are enjoying it. And if you don't enjoy it, you don't have to watch them, which is also kind of nice.
Okay.
Um, because Instagram Live is not for everyone. It's kind of an interesting platform. But yeah, and if you find that you're missing them, you can always turn on notifications just for me, and it'll pop up when I'm doing a live, which is fun too. I don't know. What else do I need to say about that?
I don't know because I have no experience with Instagram Live, so
And Leslie's like, I have this is out of my hands. I don't
it
know.
says on the show notes to talk about it, so I made you talk about it. So
We've got Patreon events coming up, which has
we do.
also been fun because some of my Instagram people have been following us on Patreon, so they're getting so much of me. They
Oh,
probably
is that why
have
I keep getting
what?
notifications that somebody has edited their pledge from this down to $1? I wondered why that was happening so frequently. Oh. Yeah, we have two events. So our VKN will happen tomorrow, although this episode probably won't go up till tomorrow because it's 9 o'clock in the evening now. But we're having our VKN on the 26th at 2 p.m. and then we're doing our April fail along Tuesday evening, the 28th of April, starting at 6:30 p.m.
I'm trying to
Central.
decide if I should read up on needle punch or if I should just. I guess I should because I have no background in this whatsoever,
Or
and I don't.
maybe just watch a video or
Yeah,
something.
I don't think I have any instructions in my. I got the adult kit this time, so I'll have to see if there's instructions.
Yeah. Um, it should be interesting. I've never done the one that I got either. I got a different, slightly like larger gauge version of what Laura's doing. So, but it's needle punch, rug punch, that sort of thing. So, and then the only other thing that's on here is Animal Crossing. I know I've been spending a lot
Oh,
of
there's
time
something else, but I'll
on.
let you talk about Animal Crossing. Tell me about your town. You need to invite me to your town.
Oh, you can come. There's nothing exciting. I still haven't I haven't done any like terraforming or whatever, like changing the way the land looks or anything.
You need to open it so I can come visit and tell me when you open.
I have all the fruits. Uh,
Have you done hybrid flowers yet?
Not intentionally. Some of them have hybridized. Like I got pink lilies somehow.
Ooh.
I'm not sure how I did that, but I don't know. I planted them close to each other, I guess, and
Yeah.
then mutated.
And then you water them with your watering can.
Yeah, I
Or
do
it
that.
rained.
Yeah,
I got an elephant watering can today.
very fancy. Um, I got a sewing machine, and then I sent Laura one. Um, I did. I sent it to you. Have you checked your mailbox?
No, I got an old fashioned sewing machine. Is that one? Is that what
Yeah,
you're talking about? I got
yeah.
a loom today.
Then you better send me one.
It
I want to
costs
learn.
like 12,000 bells, but I'll buy you.
So harvest some cherries or something.
I will. I'm very
Um,
busy building inclines, Leslie O'Neill. I have no
yeah.
time for your nonsense. I actually only have 3 more inclines to build.
Hey, the art guy came. So I
Yes.
read up on the Earth Day or Nature Day or whatever things that are happening, but he
So the
hasn't let.
first one he tells you is real,
Yeah,
but then when you get on his boat, have you
right.
gotten on his boat yet?
I've read about it, but he hasn't let me on his boat yet.
So I'm totally gonna be texting Gwen,
That's
being like,
exactly what I'm gonna do. Because our
"Is this
friend
really a thing?"
Gwen is an art conservator at the Smithsonian. She knows all about art. She's also brilliant and lovely, and she helps us at SSK. But yeah, I'm just gonna send her a picture of all four of them, and I'm like, tell me which one is real. Do it now. Um, so
Did your
Animal Crossing
museum
is a
get its
game
edition?
on the Nintendo Switch for anyone who has no idea what we're talking about.
Did your museum get its edition thing?
It's doing it today.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what mine do. And
yeah.
of course, one of my Nook Miles Plus was like, get 3 fossils evaluated. And I was like, so then I went to Ponky's place thinking maybe he could evaluate them for me someplace else. No, that's a
No,
lie. But I
yeah.
could, that's where I got the elephant watering can. And then she let me pick up her loom. So sometimes you can go to some place and they'll let you pick up stuff and then it adds to your catalog and then you just set it back down.
Oh, that's fancy.
So we could do that too.
Yeah, I'll come to your
Even
island and
cheaper.
steal all your fruit. And
You'll have to do it after I harvested it, like a.m. Because that is the first thing. I have like a series of events
yeah,
that I do. So
yeah.
first I harvest all my I shake all the trees,
Mm.
and then I do all my rocks, and then as that's going along, if I find fossils in my little like hidden money thing, that's cool. If not, I might have to look harder. And then I also get insects as I go. And then I go fishing and make fish baits.
Oh, I got a huge fish today when I was visiting one of the random islands. It's like, my little person is this big, and the fish is like this
Was it the
big.
blue marlin?
No, it's
Was it
like,
the one with the weird red thing?
yes.
Yes.
But I can't give it to the museum guy because the freaking museum's
If you
closed.
sell it, it's worth like 7,000 bells.
Oh no, I need to put it in the museum first.
Have you gotten a blue marlin yet?
I don't remember if I
You can
have or
only
not.
get them by fishing off your dock.
Oh, I do a lot when I like create the fish food or whatever. I usually just go to the dock and fish there.
Punky got a golden trout this morning, but you can only get them on like the upper part of waterfalls, so I might try that later.
Oh
Not
yeah,
today. But anyway, lots of Animal Crossing. I have paths in my town, so you'll have to come see it now.
yeah,
And streetlights. We're
very
very
fancy.
fancy, yo. And I moved some of my villagers because I didn't like where they were anymore. So I
I
made
put
I paid.
myself in the back, and all the villagers are up in the front. Like I'm
There
away
you
from
go.
everybody. So anyway,
That's
um,
very on brand for you, my friend.
it is. And every time I go into the little like resident hall or whatever,
Resident
the
services. Yeah.
whatever the girl is like, "Do you have any problems with residents?" And I'm like,
It doesn't do anything though. You can't get rid of them or anything.
"Oh,
If you
okay,
just ignore them or you hit them on the head with a net long enough, supposedly they'll go away. Like they'll
oh."
say, "Should I move?" And
I
in which
think you
case,
can at some point kick them off because my
yeah,
friend that I work with, he said he had to get rid of one person because they were super annoying, but I don't
yeah, you
remember why.
just ignore them and then you repeatedly hit them with a net.
Oh, that's
So,
mean, dude.
so's the art thief dude. He's not
Uh,
super kind.
no, he's not. Okay, what else is on the show notes that we need to talk about?
Oh, Stash Dash.
Okay,
So I put up the request thread for rule changes.
okay.
So I actually did that today. I had someone ask me about it on my live, and then I remembered and did it later. So, and I also cleaned up the board because I forgot that we had all of last year's Stash Dash stuff still pinned at the top, and no one reminded me because I don't actually go into
Yeah,
the
the group itself. You
group
just click on the
itself very
threads.
often. I just
Yeah.
click on threads, and after a thread's been inactive for 30 days, it just disappears from that
Mhm.
list, which I love.
Yeah.
But as a moderator, terrible job on my part. Sorry, guys. So that's cleaned up now. But yeah,
Um, yeah, so I think that's it.
I think
Uh,
so.
what else? Yeah, so we're doing closing conservation month. I talked a little bit about
Yeah.
that earlier with mending. I'll talk more about that next week when I show some other things that I've mended.
If
And
you come
that's
visit me, you have to download the Nintendo app so we can talk as you're visiting. I can give you a tour of my island,
okay.
or I could just call you.
Yeah, that would also work.
But if you go to other people's islands like Punky and Carrie, if you have the app, you can talk to them.
I haven't been to Punky's Island yet. I saw her when she
Good.
was at
It's five
yours.
star.
Wow.
It's gorgeous. It's amazing. And she has a dump that has free recipes in it, so you might not have some of those.
She has a what?
Like a little dump area. She made a
Oh.
little dump and then she puts all her like duplicate recipes in it.
Oh.
People can pick it up. Her fiance John
Yeah.
had the turnip selling for $600, like 600 bells a turnip. And so he put that on like Reddit or something, and there was like a 45-minute wait to get on his island. And because people were cashing out their turnips and people were leaving him tips. So it's polite if you go to someone else's island and you take some of their stuff that you like bring them something. So like Ponky let me pick up her loom today, so I made her like 3 shovels and left them because I also owed her because I had eaten some of her fruit. So like when you do something and someone does something good for you, it's customary to tip them. So people were leaving him millions of dollars worth of bills as tips.
Oh,
It's
that's
very
awesome.
cute.
I sold my turnips for like I don't know, 104, and I was like, yes.
I always lose money on the freaking turnips, so I'm always like, but he was like, I guess you can track the turnip market.
Yes, my friend sent me a link to that. But I sold them too early. I could have gotten more for them, but
It's hard to
anyway.
tell. All right,
Okay, this is not a show about Animal Crossing.
it could be though.
It could be, yes. So we hope you guys have a good week, and we will talk to you again soon. Bye,
Bye,
y'all.
y'all.